Check, check, check.
Yep.
Whoa, you're really loud.
Yeah.
Am I loud?
No, you're fine. Is this better?
Yeah, you can go closer, it's fine. Usually you get a little less feedback when you go a little bit closer, but...
Alrighty.
Alright, that'll go away in a second. So, this is our normal radio station for this area. This is our weather station, so we're going to switch to weather.
0, 2, 7 inches of mercury. Remarks?
Be advised, the downtown island airport's common traffic.
So we're basically looking for an altimeter setting. This number, if you adjust it, will adjust your elevation. So right now it says we're at 720 feet above sea level. So if we were to adjust this, see how it moves it. So we know field elevation here is about 835. So I'm going to expect we're going to be about 3.28, I'm guessing. It'll tell us in a second. We'll see how close I am.
Knoxville Downtown Island Airport. Automated weather observation 1442 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility more than 10. Sky condition few at 5,500. Temperature 21 Celsius. Dew point 17 Celsius. Altimeter 3027 inches of mercury.
Close.
Remarks?
So we're good there with weather. So wind's calm, visibility obviously, this is the stuff we know about, we can already see. Mostly we're looking for altimeter setting just to make sure we're good. If we didn't have weather, we would just set this to field elevation, which is what I did kind of manually. But where you do have weather available, always use it. Even if you went away for like, let's say an hour, you went out of the area and you came back, you should always get weather just to make sure you're still where you started from, because you could have had a storm system pull in or high humidity or whatever can impact that. So we're going to do taxi light on. Fuel gauges, we know we're a little, we're about probably 3/4 of a tank, so we're good. Pull this back just a little bit. So flaps up here, put these back up. And we're ready to roll. That's on, that's on.
Downtown Island traffic, 92 Tangos will be taking the active runway 08.
Just making sure these
Downtown
are clear.
traffic, 10710 over downtown Knoxville, flying inbound for 45 for runway 8.
Downtown traffic, 40 Fox Alpha, taxiing run-up area, runway 8. So if you want to put your feet on the pedals, this actually looks a lot harder than it is. And basically you're just going to go left and right and try to keep this on that yellow line. And it's very small inputs, and there's a little bit of a lag.
Yeah.
So as you push it, it's not immediate, and then it'll start to go. So when you push them, you want to do very small inputs and then kind of see where it's at and then adjust, like tiny, tiny increments. You're doing really good. I was like this my first time. You're doing really good. And we're gonna just slow down here a little bit, so I'll take it back here. So basically braking, and then I'm gonna hit right rudder, and I'm gonna go up on my right toe to get it to really turn.
Okay.
So basically this yellow line's just a guide to kind of where we need to go. If there was multiple planes, we would not go directly behind them because we don't want to get their prop wash as they run their engine up. We would park like on the side of them at an angle, so kind of like this.
Yeah, okay.
So because nobody's here, we could basically just kind of, we want to steer clear of the taxiway in case somebody didn't want to do a run-up because it's not necessarily required. They could just skip out ahead of us. So we're going to close our windows now. And got that locked, okay. So, let's see if I can reach it.
Downtown traffic,
We're going to do a run-up here.
Inbound on the
So
45.
circuit breakers are all good still. We're going to go full, or we're going to go up to 1700 on the RPMs, which is about mid-range power. We're going to check our carb heat, so when we pull this out, we should see an RPM drop, which we do, so that means that's working. So it's basically putting hot air into the engine, which makes it less performing. We want to check our mags. So if we shut one mag off, we should see about 100 RPM drop, which we do. We're going to go back to normal, and then we're going to go to the right now, and we should see the same thing, which we do. So we both know. So now we know they're both working. Oil pressure's good. Oil temperature's still a little low. I wonder if they didn't fly this today at all.
Downtown Island traffic, 92 Tango.
Pressure's good.
Left crosswind, runway 08.
So we are producing voltage. We're almost at 14.
Left down 18.
Or amperage, sorry. Voltage is good there. Exhaust temp's still going to be cold because we just started the plane. So in order to test the fuel mixture, so I was telling you, I'm going to go full power now. And we always go full power gradually. We don't just like jam it.
Yeah.
And so basically I'm going to walk this back until it starts to stumble a little bit. And you'll start to hear it and see it. So see it right there?
Yeah.
So probably about right there. So I'm going to go 3 full turns in.
Traffic,
1,
10, left
2,
base, runway 8.
3, maybe just a hair more. So that's pretty much our optimum efficiency.
Downtown Island traffic, 92 Tango.
And actually in hot weather,
runway 08.
it can actually be more performance by taking a little fuel out. So you'll actually get a little bit more power. So we're good. I'm just going to wait for that to come up just a little bit more. It's almost there.
Downtown traffic, short final, runway full stop.
So when we go out, we're going to rotate at 50. So 50 is going to show up here. This is our airspeed. This will be our altitude bug. So when we're flying around a pattern here, we want to be 1,000 feet above ground level.
Yeah.
So ground level is 800, so we're setting at 18. Our altimeter's already set. 80 is the heading, which turn these arrows will kind of align. This is our attitude indicator, so this shows us how much we're pitched up, pitched down. It'll also go left and right, so we use that to guide us. Like I said, airspeed's here, so we're going to rotate at 50. If we did have some sort of issue, we wouldn't take off, we would stop. If we take off and we get out over there and we're not above 1,000 feet over the ground, we're probably going to be landing in a field or somewhere else. If we're above that, we're going to try to basically do a U-turn and come back and land the same way we took off and, you know, get a safe landing in. So, never had it happen, never seen it happen, but just so you know. Other than that, seatbelts are on, doors locked, windows there, mine's good, this is good. Air will start to come through here. It won't be as stuffy once we get some movement. And ready to roll?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. Keep that right there. Fuel's on. We're set. And
this is
oil temperature has come up a little bit.
Behind you, you guys need a minute.
Now we're heading right now.
Downtown Island traffic, 92 Tango is left base, runway 08.
So he's on base. I guess we'll hold short. Yeah. Down to traffic, 48 Fox Alpha, holding short, runway 8.
Downtown traffic, 710, clear of 18, or clear of 8.
So we could have snuck in front of him probably, but guy behind us is probably like, get out of my way.
Downtown Island traffic, 92 Tango is left final, runway 08, be a touch and go.
So anybody who's on final has priority, so we cannot take off if somebody calls out final. They have priority because they're coming in, they're already set up, they're low and slow. It also affects anybody who's slower than you or not as maneuverable as you, which could be like a hot air balloon, it could be a glider. They always have right of way over us. And the opposite can be true, right? So we would have priority over like a jet or something because we're slower and we're less maneuverable than they are. But so here, this is our hold short, so we can't go past this line if somebody's active. It's actually like illegal. We cannot do that. And we cannot take off until he calls clear of the runway.
Okay.
So he's going to do a touch and go. He just called it out. So he's not going to call clear of runway because he's basically touching and going right back up. So basically we're just going to give enough time separation that we're not going to run into him, which clearly we're not because this plane is really slow. But if we were in a faster plane, you always want to leave enough separation that you're not going to catch up to him. Like the guy behind us, he's running a twin engine Baron. You can see him out the back window.
92 Tango, we're going to call today. Take this exit.
Okay, so he's not doing a touch and go. So now we have to wait for him to call clear. Down to traffic, 40 Fox Alpha, line up wait, runway 8.
92 Tango, clear active.
Alright, so he's clear. Alright. Down to traffic, 48 Fox Alpha, departing runway 8, staying in a pattern. So radio calls here are really, really easy because we don't have a tower, we don't have clearance.
Downtown Island traffic, 92 Tango is going to be taxiing back to the shade port.
All right, ready to go?
Yeah.
So we got runway inside, runway outside. We're gonna looking for airspeed to come alive here. Full power. We pull back on the wheel just a little bit, just to give it a little bit. You don't need to, that's fine. I say I do just to kind of give it a little wheelie. So airspeed is alive, we're in the green. Traffic alert, so there's 50, and we're rotating. Wave to your dad, we'll tip our wings at him. So producing good RPMs, speed's looking good.
Downtown traffic, Twin Cessna 310, Papa Lima is departing runway 8, left turnout, westbound departure.
We have a couple steps in the pattern, so basically the wind right now is at us.
Yeah.
We call that upwind basically. When we go this way, that's crossing the wind, so we'll call our crosswind. And this guy's gonna come up behind us, so we're gonna go crosswind pretty early just to get out of his way. Usually I go crosswind at about 1300 when I'm over the river.
Okay.
And like this field right here on the left, that's always my go-to if we ever did have an issue.
Yeah.
We put her down right there. So we're just gonna do a little pattern work. So basically we'll come in for a couple landings. Obviously I probably won't have you do landings because it takes a lot of effort for that. More than 2 tries.
Yeah.
So speed, we want to keep it not below 64. 72 is ideal. Down at traffic, 40 Fox Alpha on crosswind, runway 8, touch and go. So that's going to let that guy know that we're out of his way. So you can see he's down there lined up. Actually, he's taking off right now. Not bad out at all. Feels nice.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be a little more bumpy.
So do you just have like the area memorized so you know where you're at, or is it like?
So here, yes. So there is standard. So we're gonna get up to 1800, which is what I have this bugged at. So when we get to 1600 right now, it should beep at us. There it goes. So when it beeps at us, that means we're 200 feet from our goal. Or it could beep on the high side, which means we're 200 feet over our goal. So we just an alert notification. So here, let me call the call first. Down at traffic, 40 Fox Alpha on downwind, runway 8, touch and go. So for here, we want to be about 3/4 of a mile away from the runway. How we measure it in this plane is...
310 Papa Lima is on the left crosswind, runway 8 will be a left turnout and westbound departure.
He's not coming, he's going to come behind us, but he's going to leave. So here we want to be about halfway up the strut. So see the runway's about halfway up the strut. So that tells us we're like within our goal of how far we want to be. Because if we were too close to the runway, we'd have to do a really sharp turn, right? If we're too far, we're going to basically clog up the airways and people will kind of get a little mad. So here, when we get in line with the runway, we're going to pull our carb heat out because we're going to throttle back to about 1500. So engine's still running. It just sounds a lot quieter. Yeah. And we're going to go down flaps 10. So right here, we're putting our flaps down, and that's reducing those flaps out there. And basically what that does is allow us to fly slower without stalling. Down to traffic, 48 Fox Alpha on base, runway 8, touch and go. And so when you're landing, we want the plane to slow down considerably. You know, we don't want to land fast. Variety of reasons for that. Mainly because if you come in too fast, you will float, meaning you will not, like the plane still has energy left in it. If so much air is moving over the wing, the plane is still going to want to fly, and we don't want it to fly. We want it to get on the runway and basically not want to fly anymore. So we're going to go flaps 20, which is going to help us get down even further. We're still pretty high actually, so I'm going to pull the power all the way out. So right here, I typically like to be about 1300, so we're a little over, but not bad. We're keeping our eye on that airspeed. We don't want it to get below 65. Down to traffic, 48 Fox Alpha on final, runway 8, touch and go. So there's our runway. So from here, we're using rudders to kind of, rudders do this. Ailerons move the plane actually back and forth. where rudders just kind of tilt us.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
We're gonna add a little bit more power in here. And so what we're doing here is if you took like 3 fingers like this and put them on a dashboard, we want that number 8 to be at the top of your fingers. So right now, all we're looking at is that number 8. That's it. That's all we're looking at right now. That and our speed, which our speed's a little low, but we're gonna just push over forward a little bit. So number 8 is what we're looking at. So just keep looking at that number 8. We're coming down, we're coming down. We pull engine to idle as the number 8 passes over, and then we pull up. Now look directly at the end of the runway. That's it. We're going flaps up. Carb heats back in. Full power. We'll have a little fun with this one. This one's called the soft field takeoff. So we're gonna basically hover on the runway, and we're gonna build up a lot of speed here. And then we're gonna take off to the moon. So see our speed's getting up. We're well over takeoff speed. This is called rocket ship. And now we go up. Gotta love that feeling, huh?
Yeah.
So not bad, huh?
Oh, it's not bad. Is it so, like different planes, do you want to be coming in at different speeds?
Yeah.
Heights?
Every plane has a whole list of speeds, which is actually in this manual. There's tons of different speeds, whether it's maneuvering speed, landing speed, best angle of climb, or best rate of climb. Turn here. Oh, that should be on. So every plane is different. This particular plane, like I said, flies pretty slow. Like that Baron that just took off behind us, twin engine, a lot of power. Probably fits, I think, 6 people in it compared to 2. Down on traffic, 40 Fox Alpha on crosswind, number 8, touch and go. Every plane's different. You know, just like a commercial airliner come in at, 160 knots. We're coming in at probably 50.
Yeah.
We can do one more touch and go, and then maybe I'll turn up this way. We can kind of do a little tour over downtown if you want to, do a little sightseeing, and then I can give you a couple maneuvers. Usually our maneuvers we do out over this way, so it's kind of away from different traffic.
Yeah. Okay.
Down on traffic, 40 Fox Alpha on downwind runway 8, touch and go. So planes will literally fly themselves. They want to fly. So when you're doing this, I did it. You're like death gripping the wheel, like, oh no, I gotta do this. So it's really, really light inputs. You basically fly it with like 2 fingers if you wanted to. And so the trim does most of the work for you to keep it level. All you're basically doing, you can do rudders to kind of do left and right. So right about there's straight level flight. And the plane will fly itself unless it's like really, really gusty or turbulent. So we lined up with our number 8 right there. So we're gonna pull carb heat out. RPM is gonna go to 1500. See this little white area in here?
Yeah.
That means we're in flap zone. If we were above that, we couldn't put flaps down yet. So we're in the flap zone, so we can put flaps in. So we always go gradual flaps, so you do 10 and 20. You can go 30, 40, but there's no need for it unless you had like a really, really short field, which we don't here. We have 3,500 feet. Down at traffic, 40 Fox Alpha on base, runway 8, touch and go. So we're gonna go flaps 20. And we're still high. Let's do a quick instrument scan here. Everything's looking good still. Pressure's good. Fuel. Exhaust temp's really cold. It's not that hot out today. I think we're on 70 degrees outside right now. Down at traffic, 40 Fox Alpha on final, runway 8, touch and go. bird.
Yeah.
Well, we overshot runway 8 a little bit. So now we just got to get it back on track, which is a rookie move. A lot of times you get distracted. You didn't turn quite sharp enough. So you're basically just lining it back up. So same thing, looking at runway 8, a couple inches off the nose cowl. That's basically our point. So if we know if it's moving down or it's moving up, then we're not on track, right? And then the last thing you want to do is just check your airspeed. Just make sure you're like not below 64. So coming in, coming in, coming in. And there it is, over the numbers. When we go over the numbers, we pull this back to idle. And then we're basically just letting the plane float to the ground. And we're still floating. There we go. Flaps up, carb heat in, and we're going. So when we land and do touch and goes, we rotate at 50. So by the time we clean up the plane, we're basically at 50. So you almost like can take off simultaneously, which is nice.
Yeah.
And we have plenty of runway here still left to go for this plane here. This runway is 3,500 feet long. Honestly, this plane can take off in probably half of that and land in probably about 400 feet landing. If we like really, really, really wanted to land, we can land this thing pretty quick, pretty small patch. So actually, I think I'm gonna go straight out. We'll do some maneuvers first, and then maybe we'll go over downtown and kind of finish that way. I'll have you take the plane here in a second. We're just gonna, so I'm gonna bug this up to 2,500. So that's kind of like where my goal is. I want to get up to, and we're just gonna go out here to the east. I'm just gonna make a call saying we're departing the pattern, going out to the east, and that pretty much like we'll know we're not in the area anymore. Downtown traffic, 40 Fox Alpha, will be departing the pattern to the east. So anybody listening can hear that. Most planes nowadays have trackers on them, so we'd be able to see them on the radar here. And this would show like alert, alert, you know, if somebody was like oncoming. So for right here, we want to hit, because we want to climb right now, 72 miles an hour is our best rate of climb, so that gets us up the fastest. So basically that's our goal right now. We just want to keep that at basically like 72. That'll help you get us up there. And once we get up here a little further, I'll have you grab the controls, kind of steer it around a little bit. You didn't get nauseous or anything, did you, in the last flight? Did they do anything like crazy or anything? I mean, we're not going to do anything super crazy, but I don't know if you get motion sickness or anything like that. If you do, obviously tell me way beforehand. We don't need you puking in a plane or anything like that. So you flew out of Cleveland, right? Is that where you flew out of?
Yeah, the
Jetport.
yeah, I forgot what the name of it was. I think it's like the Appleton something airport. Collegedale.
Oh, Collegedale Airport. Okay, so it's not Cleveland. Okay. I haven't flown into that one.
It's pretty small.
Yeah. So we're getting there. We're at 2150. So it'll beep at 23. That lets us know we're within 200 feet of our goal. So this plane climbs pretty slow. So this bottom number, see that 0.04 or 0.4? That's in feet, so that's 300, 400 feet per minute we're going up right now, which really isn't that fast of a climb. The other plane I was looking at to buy, actually, we could climb at like 1,100 feet per minute. Yeah, it's pretty good. But the thing's, I don't know, it's a bit unstable, even in stable air. It's just kind of like, it moves around a lot. It's just kind of weird. I like this plane because, I mean, look, it's like literally cruise control. So I'm gonna set our trim here. Basically, we want the plane to kind of stay straight and level, right? So we want that right on the nose. So see, we're still climbing at 200 feet per minute. So I'm going nose up just a hair. And then again, it's kind of a lag, you know, there's a little bit of a delay, so we're pretty good right there. You can see our altitude's not really changing much, very incremental. So if you want to take the controls, so the way we do is my airplane, you say, or your airplane, you say my airplane. So your airplane, you just say my airplane. That's it. You just say it.
My airplane?
Yeah, so it's just we got a plane right here. So we're gonna turn to the left a little bit. So see him on the radar? So he's 400 feet above us, right? So we want to steer clear of him, which is totally fine. We got plenty of separation. Detail Bonanza looks like. Or Cirrus Jet, actually that thing's moving pretty good. So for right here, you know, we're pretty good. As long as we stay probably about 20, between 25 and 3, we'll be good. There won't get any traffic probably that'll bother us here. So you can just kind of maneuver around. If you want to face towards the mountain, again, nice slow inputs. Up and down is more sensitive than left and right. So you don't need much input to go up and down. So if you see the mountains going up too high, you know, push down a little bit. You see them going too low, just pull back a little bit. And then typically, which I won't have you do today, typically when we do some turns, we use rudders as well, so it kind of like helps the plane coordinate and turn.
Yeah.
So see this little hash mark underneath that diamond?
Yeah.
That's basically the tail of our plane. So if I push to the left right now, see how I just corrected that?
Yeah.
So basically we want that underneath the triangle at all times is the best option. Throttle back a little bit, we're getting a little more speed here. So if you want to you can just kind of crank it around if you want to. So as you turn, it's going to want to dip a little bit. So usually when you turn, you just pull back just a hair, just to kind of keep that nose.
Downtown Island traffic, Knoxville approach out of here.
That's somebody right behind us. So let's go to the
Downtown
left
Island traffic, this is Knoxville approach out of here.
Yeah, loud and clear here. Where is that dude?
November 48, Foxtrot Alpha at Downtown Island. Are you on here?
Yeah, I'm on here.
It's coming in a little weak. Say again, please.
Yeah, you're reading loud and clear.
Okay, you got traffic overhead from you. They got you in sight. I was just trying to let you know as the Knoxville approach. There's a couple of them that tried to get with you there. I was just wanting to let you know about the traffic over top of you right now.
I see him on ADSB here, so we're dropping to try to steer clear of them.
Roger, sounds good. He's got you in sight, so we're all good to go.
All right, appreciate it. So he's 500 feet above us.
4 o'clock, high, less than 1 mile.
Oh, he's actually to our right. You should see him off your wing up high.
Yeah, I see him up there.
All right, we're going to do a 360. We're just going to steer clear of him. What kind of plane is it, do you know?
I couldn't tell you.
Blue? I wonder if it's a commercial. I don't know where he went. He's clear. He's like right up our right wing. Oh, we're clear of him now. I still don't see him.
Blue and white.
He's 800 feet above us. Oh, there he is. Now I see him. Alright, so we'll go back this way. So that's where this is like people who don't have this in their plane are just, I mean, in this day and age with technology available to you, that's just dumb not to have it. And this usually won't alert us unless they're on like a crash path with us. So like we can fly around, they'll be out there, but unless they're like, this thing knows like, hey, if you guys stay on the same path, you're gonna hit, or you're gonna be even close, like within, 500 feet of each other, it's gonna tell us. All right, so we'll get back up here a little bit in altitude. We dropped quite a bit trying to give some separation from him. So if you want, you can pitch the plane up. We'll just keep heading straight for now. So as long as we're not dipping below 72, we're good. looks like we're getting a little bit of a breeze. Yeah, we got 3 knots coming this way, so it's kind of like pushing our plane a little bit. We're almost to 25. You can keep pulling back on that a little bit. And then go slightly to the right because we have some wind coming. So you want to kind of like tilt it over that way. All pulling up. So just kind of like angling it like right towards the middle of that mountain basically. There you go. Good. All right, let's just do some steep turns up my airplane. And nobody's on radar, so we're gonna check that beforehand. And what we usually do is we do clearing turns. So basically, there could be people out here that don't have radar capabilities. So basically we're gonna turn and just look. So we're visually looking out. Because this is a high wing airplane, we cannot see anybody who's above us. So we wanna just kind of like basically do a 90 degree, make sure nobody's here, you know, looking out that way. And then same thing, we're gonna cruise back this way. Now I can see up this high. And same thing, just kind of looking around, making sure we're good. And so here we can do a steep turn. So steep turn is designated as a 45 degree turn, which means we'll be out here on this diamond. So it's gonna be a pretty good tilt. You will feel a little bit in your belly, kind of like a roller coaster a little bit. If I pull back more, it accentuates that, so it's basically more G's on the body. So we're just gonna roll into it here. We're gonna go this way. So we're gonna go right up to this diamond. And there's 45 right there. You okay? Oh, all right. So, and basically we're trying to keep that horizon nice and level. We don't want to go down, we don't want to go up. We're just staying nice and level, which we are. We're doing an awesome job right now. And we're not quite at 45, but we're pretty close. And so one of the things we train on is you have to do this in a 360 this way, and then basically you go back the other way. You have to be within plus or minus 100 feet of altitude, so you couldn't have dropped too much or gained too much. And same thing with speed. So now we're gonna go back this way. You know if you're okay. Some people don't like this, some people it affects them more than others. So if we go right into that 45, right there. You good?
Sounds fine.
Okay. And then if I pull back right now, you'll feel it like, yeah. So it basically just increases the G load. So those are steep turns. We also do S turns, which aren't as much fun, but can be a little bit difficult. Usually you have to find like a straight road. And basically we would do an S turn like this. And basically what you're doing is you're trying to keep the plane very coordinated while still making perfect turns, adjusting for windage. You know, it might push you off course, so you got to kind of counteract that. There's also slow flight, which really isn't a lot of fun for your second flight. It's like how slow can you get the plane to fly, which again really isn't much fun. Stalls, which we don't need to do that. Most of it's takeoff, landings, procedures, steep turns. Turnaround a point's another one. So if we just picked like a point, like see that house out there with the red roof?
Yeah.
So basically what we'd want to do is same thing, plus or minus 100 feet, stay at a steady speed, and basically we want to keep that house like the same distance off our wing, and we would basically do a big long 360 around it. And same thing, we might get pushed around a little bit with wind, so you basically go like decrease your angle, increase your angle to try to keep it tracking the same way. So right now wind's pushing us this way, so if that happens we would increase our angle to kind of cut through the air a little more. So, pretty cool. Nice houses down there. And like Sevierville's right there, like Pigeon Forge. It's actually right off the back quarter wing here. What are we at? We're at 36 minutes since I hit record. So we probably head back. We'll do a little quick flight over downtown. If there's anything else you want to do, I'll let you fly back downtown. What we're gonna do is see that like cement plant. It's like a little silo sticking up. So we're just gonna head towards that. So if you want to go ahead, you can take controls. Your airplane. My airplane. Basically, we're just gonna keep her straight and level. There is a plane out there. He looks like he's going to land actually at Downtown Island, so that's fine. Actually, there's one right above us. He's quite a bit above us. He's at 2,200 feet. We're just gonna keep our eye on him. He is coming down. So let's go to the right a little bit. Oh, never mind. I see him. It's actually an airliner. Here, up my airplane for a sec. Just look out here. See him out there? Off our wing.
Oh yeah, I see him.
Oh. So I don't know why he's 1,700 feet. He should be climbing, if anything. All right, your airplane.
My airplane.
So we'll just face right towards that cement plane again. And then we'll try to get down to 25. So I'm actually just gonna pull a little bit of power. That'll make us start descending little by little. So when we go over the downtown area, we need to be below 2,500 or we're gonna be in Tyson McGee's airport airspace, which is where the jets fly and stuff. So we don't want to be in their airspace. If we are in their, we can go in their airspace, but we have to call for clearance, and we don't need to do that just for a joyride. So we just fly under the radar basically. So this is I-40 right here, on the main highway. So there's 25, so let's pitch up just a little bit. I'm gonna add power back in. And let's aim right towards that cement plant. Good. You can actually pitch down a little bit. They're still climbing. So with airplanes too, you don't want to like over rev the engine. So if you were to pitch down right now, obviously we're going to pick up a lot of speed, right?
Yeah.
But it's also, because it's a propeller, it's also going to want to force that engine to go faster. So when we do that, we want to pull the throttle out if we were to like bomb down. We would want to pull the engine out a little bit and then kind of push down to gain speed. So the last thing we want to do is over rev this and then, you know, blow up the engine or whatever. It'd be a bad day for everybody. There's a lot of stuff going on in the airplane, but honestly, once you get the grasp of it, and it doesn't take long. I soloed at, I think it was 9 hours, 10 hours, so flew the airplane by myself, just doing pattern work. And then most people can get their license. The minimum is 40 hours. Most people do not get their license in 40 hours. I think I took a long break. I would have got it at 40, but I think it took me like 52 because I basically took all of last fall off. So I had to do some like remedial stuff. Scan here. Looks like we got a plane out here somewhere 2,500 feet above us, which is fine. So we just keep an eye on them. If we see them moving down, then obviously we want to be a little bit more aware of what they're doing. Typically, the later in the day, it does get more turbulent because the heat is making uneven surfaces. So what we're feeling is totally normal. That's basically called thermals. So it's the heat reflecting off of this. What the heck? He just like disappeared from the radar. He was 2,700 feet above us, and now he's gone. Unless he's over here. There's a couple of planes over that way, but I had him showing right here, so I don't know, that's weird. So constantly scanning when you're flying, always looking outside. So what we're doing right now is called VFR, so it's Visual Flight Rules. We're just gonna go back up a little bit. Basically, it's visual flight, so we're flying by sight, not necessarily by instruments. IFR, which is instruments, so that allows you to like basically fly in the clouds without being able to see outside. You can still fly basically with blinders on, which is part of the training as well. So because we're flying VFR, we want to look outside a lot, right? We want to look out for planes, we want to look out for antennas or anything like that. Obviously we're pretty high, we're not going to hit any antennas. Oh, that guy's back on the radar now. I don't know where the heck he is. Says he's straight ahead of us, 2,400 feet above us. I see nothing.
I don't see him either.
He's like over there, so I mean he's not in our path, which is fine.
Downtown Island, traffic Cessna 29er Golf, taxiing from the shade hangars to the run-up area for 8 downtown.
Pitch up a little bit. Try to keep it about, let's say 23 there. So we're right about there. So the closer you get to the airport, obviously the more traffic you're going to potentially have, so you really keep your eye on that. Listening to who's taking off, because, oh, there he is. That's a different plane though. I don't know what that is. I mean, obviously it's an airliner, but... so yeah, so just listening, like he just said he's lining up for runway 8. That tells me he's going to be taking off pretty soon. Usually you come out and you turn left, which means he'll be basically flying parallel with us in a minute, probably. So we're just going to keep our eye out for him. See that little mountain ridge out here off to the left? Yeah. You definitely steer clear of that. Those towers are ginormously tall. So basically we're going to follow the highway straight down through here. You're doing good though. Just more than you flew last time?
Yeah.
Did they let you fly quite a bit?
They let me fly a good amount.
So right now we got a 6-knot headwind, which means the wind's coming at us, which means it slows us down, so we're actually only flying at like 95 miles an hour. It's pretty funny when you get a really, really windy day and you're flying next to a highway, you might have cars passing you. Kind of weird.
Yeah.
You can actually get, like this plane's stall speed is 64. You could actually have like a really, really big wind and not move at all. You could literally just be sitting in one spot in the air.
Wow.
I mean, it would require a 64 mile an hour wind to be standing still, but even if it was like 40 or 50, you'd basically be moving at like 10 miles an hour ahead of the ground, which for people on the ground, they'd be like, how's that plane just floating there? That's weird. What's going on? We're doing good here. We just don't want to blow past that 2,500, so, which we're still fine. The line isn't until like a little bit after downtown, and it should show up here on pink in a minute. So we're going to go right towards the bridges, and then I'll just take the airplane over the downtown just so you can kind of look out the window. We'll go over UT Stadium, stuff like that. And you're still doing good. We're at 23. So see that little tiny purple line on there? It's hard to see.
Yeah.
Right there? Yeah. That is Tyson's airspace. So basically we want to make sure we're definitely below 25 when we get to that line. Which we will be now. We're totally fine. We're getting pushed around because the wind's coming basically right at us. You might have to like just tilt it a little bit into the wind. Yeah. But we're good. We're below 25. We're still at 2. Another thing to watch out for here is we do have a medical center, which is straight ahead, and they do get a lot of helicopter traffic, so sometimes they miss their calls. So just something to be aware of. Helicopters are a pain in the ass because they just go straight up, and you might not see them until they get above the horizon. So when you're flying a little bit low like this, just something to look out for. Again, be familiar with the area you're flying in. Look at the maps beforehand, see what's going on. But, you know, I know flying this place hundreds of times, that always something to look out for. There's also another hospital, like, straight down there on the strip, so there's a children's center, so sometimes they pop up straight up out of there too, so. All right, I'll take the airplane back, so my airplane here. And we're basically just gonna do a big loop around, and then we'll come back in and go down for a landing. We're at 46 minutes, so we'll probably be pretty close to about 50 minutes in or so, or maybe a little more, 53. So we're at 2,000, we're good.
Downtown Island traffic, Cessna 29er Golf is taxiing to the run-up area for 8, Downtown Island.
You can take pictures if you want. I don't know if you brought your phone or not, but if you want to. Lovely view of the Smokies out here. Yeah, that's UT Stadium, that's Neyland. Have you ever been to a game?
No.
No? I just brought Melanie to her first one, it was opening day. What was that, a week ago or so? A week and a half ago?
Ball State?
Yeah, Ball State, yeah. It was good, lots of energy, man.
Cessna 29er Golf is departing runway 8, Downtown Island.
Another airliner over here. They're busy over there today, huh?
Like it.
He's right here.
Yeah.
So this is UT Medical right here, so I try not to fly directly over that, so I usually like cut on this side of the river. Just in case anybody decided to pop up, we're clear. UT's baseball right there. Oh, I don't know what that is. I think that's a practice field over there. Another practice field here.
Track and field.
Yep. Right there is the Children's Hospital. See the helicopter pad up on top?
Yeah.
Clearly there's no helicopter, but I still like to not fly directly over that just so my my muscle memory doesn't allow me to. And you really see like how high those towers are. I mean, we're at 2,000 feet and they're still way above us. Crazy, huh? That's pretty much no man's land. We don't go through there because there's guide wires and all kinds of other stuff that comes down through there. So you pretty much gotta skirt around it if you're heading that way. This is the downtown area here. I don't know if you've been downtown before, but
Knoxville, Downtown Island traffic. Bonanza 84 Romeo is taking the active runway 8. We'll depart the area to the northeast, Knoxville downtown.
all right, so he's actually going to be heading exactly where we're heading. So he's going to be coming out, turning left, and going out basically towards those mountains. So I'm going to slow down a little bit, just give him some time, because we're basically going to do the same thing and kind of come into the pattern this way.
Downtown traffic, Cessna 29er Golf is departing a pattern to the east, Downtown Island.
All right, so he's heading straight out the way we went, which is down towards Sevierville, so that's totally fine. This is where you really got to be like in tune with who's going where, you know. So our airport's over there. Probably haven't done a 0G drop. You want to do one of those? Sure. Basically go up and go, woo. Sure. Your head will probably hit the ceiling.
It's okay.
Not too hard though. We'll do a little quick one here before this guy comes in our area. So we're just going to go up a little bit and then just basically shoot down just for a second. So we're going to climb, 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 and then down. And let's do one more. We're going to climb, 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 climb. This is basically what we do when we stall almost. So basically when we do a power on, still you okay?
Yeah, I'm
okay.
fine.
So when we do a power on stall, we basically do that until the airplane's like, I can't do it any longer, and then you stall the airplane, and then you abruptly push over, which regains your airspeed. Okay. So I'm going to call out my stuff here. So we're going to go 1800 on our bug. And I think we're about probably 3 miles out to the north. Down at traffic, 40 Fox Alpha, about 3 miles out to the north, be entering 45 downwind for runway 8, full stop. So, sounded like a mouthful. It's basically, who are you, where you are, what's your intention. So, we're about 3 miles away. We're going to be entering from the north, entering a 45 downwind, which means we're going to come in at an angle, and then we're going to land at runway 8. So, it's very intimidating when you first start to do radio calls. It's like, what do I say? Like I said, out here is kind of like, you know, you do whatever you want. There's nobody to answer to. When you're on tower, it's actually even worse because it's like there's a lot of stuff that they tell you that you have to then acknowledge it, and by acknowledging it, you repeat it back to them. So you're like, holy crap, what did they say? Yeah. You know, so a lot of times it's good to fly with another pilot who can like write down stuff or do comms while you're focusing on flying the plane. So same thing here. Downwind is this way, so it goes parallel with the runway, so we're just making sure nobody's coming straight in because we're going to be angling in. And that's exactly the reason why we angle in, is because we can see, right? So if somebody was there, it'd be like, oh shit, all right, let's make a radio call or whatever, or avoid them. So here we actually want to be at 1800, so we're going to go back up to 1800. So a good landing is always with a good approach, which means you want to have everything set up. You don't want to get behind the plane, as they call it, which means you're like, oh crap, I got to get back up, I got to do this, I got to do that. So you want to be like very comfortable. So we're going to call our downwind now because we're entering into it. Down at traffic, 40 Fox Alpha, entering downwind, runway 8, full stop. Full stop means we're not going to take back off, we're going to stop the plane. So here we come in, we're just about 1800. I'll land the plane, but I want you to do is just basically be on the controls with me so you can kind of feel what I'm doing, what I'm doing. Yeah. And I'm going to walk you through everything that I am doing. You don't need to do pedals. You shouldn't need much pedals, to be honest. So pedals usually we have to use a lot when we're dealing with crosswinds because the plane's basically doing this and we want it to track straight. So same thing here, so 1800. Once we get in line with the numbers, we're going to pull our power back to 1500. Carb heat first. So carb heat's out, which is putting hot air into the engine. Power to 1500. Make sure we're in the white arch, and we're going to go down flaps to 10. Stop. And usually when you put flaps out, it balloons the plane up. So as you put flaps, you actually push down just a hair, which as you get slower, it decreases that effect. Going a little slow, so we're going to pitch the plane down, and we're going to turn base here in a second. As we turn base, we put flaps 20. And turn base. Down at traffic, 40 Fox Alpha on base, runway 8, full stop. And I usually don't put flaps in until I'm actually straight. Oh, I went flaps 30, my bad. We can do. Honestly, we're coming in really fast and high. So you can see just by doing that little flap thing, that kind of got me out of whack a little bit. So now we're pretty high, so I got the power out to idle right now, but we just want to come down faster. Down at traffic, 40 Fox Alpha on final, runway 8, full stop. So you can be on the controls here if you want. Just kind of, I'll show you what I'm doing. So same thing, all we're looking at right now is that number 8, that's it. We want to make sure that our rudders are straightening the plane, and we want to make sure our speed's good. That is it. Literally, runway 8, a couple inches off the cowl, coming in, and our speed is staying nice and steady, probably about 70 or so. We're coming in a little higher than I normally like, but because I'm at idle, it's gonna sink. See, it's already starting to go. And we're already at idle, so I'm basically not gonna have to push it to idle. And there we go. And you can see we're off a little bit to the right, so we're gonna straighten her up here. And basically just keep holding it off. Wasn't the best landing, but we'll take it. I was trying to get off this taxiway. Too much. So basically what that was is the front wheel going down, and he's got a little bit of a linkage issue that it starts to shake if there's too much weight on that front tire. So we basically just pull back in a wheelie and it keeps the weight off that tire. So we can clean up our flaps here. And it's the same thing, we're just kind of following this yellow line. You don't want to come in too fast and kind of pop up your thing. You can open up the window, it's getting a little steamy. Just push that button in first. And then turn it up, yeah. Alright, so then here we just call clear runway 8 once we pass these lines. Down to traffic 48 Fox Alpha, clear runway 8. And typically we would call, we're taxiing to the FBO, which is over there, but there's nobody here, so. What do you think?
It was fun.
Not bad, huh?
No.
There's just so much. I mean, when I first started, my first couple lessons, I would literally go home and have to take a 3-hour nap. Like, you're more mentally exhausted than anything, because you're like, holy cow, what is going in? There's like so much stuff to take in. Where right now, like, to me, this is so much fun, and it's just so easy. It's just second nature at this point. So I'm sure you're feeling like, I don't know what the hell we did today. I don't know what he's talking about, but it's cool. As time goes on, you know, you'll be like, okay, that's what happens when you do this. That's what happens when you do this, right? So it'll all kind of come together.
Yeah.
So this one we're going to spin around. So you'll see, you always want to be clear of your wings here to make sure you don't clip anybody, especially a $800,000 airplane. And so this one I got full left rudder in, and now I'm hitting my brake pedal to like kick us around. And then full left pedal, kick us around with the brake. And then obviously you want to make sure that they parked correctly, so we're not going to hit their wing, which we're good. And then we're just going to, oh, my mic went out. Oh, there it goes. So to shut the airplane off, we do not turn the ignition off, because that way it still has fuel left in there, so like it could restart if somebody like manually propped it. So we do want to check our mag check to make sure it's working, so we're going to briefly just shut it off and turn it back on quick. So you see it, that is working. So then what we're going to do is we're going to take our mixture, we're already at idle, and we're going to just pull this out till it stalls. That's it.
Alrighty.